The kickoff of NeuralNest had me on my toes. The vision of creating an AI platform that could revolutionize technology for everyday consumers was enticingly within my grasp. You'd think the high tension of realizing such a dream would have me anxious. The truth is, it was the first time I felt genuinely excited. Bringing together a team of excited individuals sharpened my vision into something palpable, something real. My co-founder Sarah walked alongside me, just as enticed. But it was not simple, of course. Negotiating with investors took an unexpected turn at times, leaving Sarah and me to navigate the nuances of our potential partnerships. But we adjusted, evolved, and pushed forward. The excitement of receiving our first investment was an adrenaline rush, the velocity of gratitude and relief mixed with a tinge of awe. From the onset, looking across the table at my small but fierce team, I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility. We were not just creating a product for ourselves, we were paving the way for so many people out there. The realization brought a sense of meaningful solidarity. Yes, we were a startup, a small team, but in spirit, we were giants. Our collective mission, to make AI accessible to everyone, carried a weightiness that bound us together, a shared dream and goal. However, the impending sense of doom, the constant low hum of "what if we fail," was always there, lurking in the shadows of my mind. It was an uphill battle. Every achievement was an affirmation of our capabilities, but the failures were humbling blows. The peak moments, like finally securing our first local investment, felt like being on top of Mount Everest, exhilarating, triumphant, inspiring. But the valleys, such as difficult team discussions or technical issues, were a stark reminder of the treacherous path we had chosen. I powered through these challenging times, using them to further fuel my passion for refining our vision, nurturing my team, and reminding myself of the ultimate goal, to break barriers and make AI accessible for all. Having just quit my job, I felt a strange sense of loss, nestled alongside the spike of adrenaline of this newfound freedom. There was a profound disquiet in my gut as well, a fear gnawing at me. I was never the risk-taker, having preferred the familiarity of routine, the composure of knowing the outcomes. However, the fast-paced, unpredictable startup world, it was like diving headfirst into an ocean, not really knowing how to swim. I plainly remember that day, my last day in San Francisco. It began like any other, sipping on my morning coffee, responding to some last-minute work emails. Only this time, I was not heading to my picture-perfect office, surrounded by a familiar team. I was going back home to Seoul, leaving behind not just a job, an apartment, and a life that I'd built over the years, but a piece of me, a piece that thrived on the familiarity and composure that my regular life presented. I remember standing at the departures, watching planes take off into the canvas of setting sun, each one carrying countless dreams aboard just like mine. The city's skyline reflected in the glassy windows of the airport held a mirror to my past, a past that was comfortable, predictable, and secure. And as the security announcement barked in the background, the reality of the leap I had just taken from such security into the land of unknown had started to dawn upon me. I boarded the plane, leaving the skywalk behind, my heartbeat syncopated with the hum of the machine. The jet engines roared to life like nervous anticipation in my veins, palpable and vibrant. If the sense of leaving behind was intense, the thrilling anxiety of navigating my path through Seoul's pulsing tech startup ecosystem was intoxicating. This was no longer an ambitious dream scribbled on a coffee-stained notepad. It was real, breathing, a pulsating entity wrapped in the sheen of a Boeing's steel structure. The wheels of the airplane lifting off the tarmac marked the official departure of my secure life in the Silicon Valley and beckoned the arrival of an unpredictable, exhilarating journey waiting for me in Seoul. Strategies, investments, and risks that had so far been a part of theoretical discussions were now going to be my life. Startup life was no longer a constellation suspended in the theoretical cosmos of cafe conversations and late-night brainstorms. It was real, unfolding before me with each moment. Moment of truth, indeed. Returning home was no ordinary vacation. It represented dismissing one identity and accepting another. Surreal as it felt, I was, in essence, starting all over again, a societal dropout, and at the same time, an audacious tech dreamer. Seoul, a city that once held my roots, had turned into a map of unexplored opportunities, a living, breathing canvas of my deliberate design. The entrepreneurial vocabulary replaced the casual English colloquialism I had become accustomed to. Concepts like seed funding, venture capitalists, prototype, iteration, scaling became my daily lexicon, replacing meetings, deadlines, performance reviews. And then came the day when Sarah and I held our first meeting inside the small, nondescript confines of our makeshift office. Setting out the vision for NeuralNest, there was something magical about sharing the grandeur of our dreams, so fresh and almost touchable. The decision to forge ahead and shape the future of technology was far from casual banter. We were ready to commit to a life of constant innovation, pivots, and unprecedented challenges. It felt like holding a pulsating heart in our hands, its beats echoing our shared dreams and ambitions. We celebrated the small victories, the joy of completion in mapping the strategic plan, the satisfaction of finalizing our messages, the thrill on finding our first investor. But it wasn't the adrenaline rush or the astute presentations that characterized those early days. It was the profound acknowledgement of our willful decision to disrupt our well-etched life patterns and leap with faith into an ocean of unknowns. The pride of calling ourselves tech entrepreneurs was a compelling narrative, one that warranted constant nurturing, unyielding commitment, and relentless resilience. Despite the jagged fears and the looming trials, the light of a shared dream, the promise of a new beginning shone brighter. As they say, perhaps the journey of 1,000 miles does begin with a single step, and ours had just begun. The dawn of the new year in 2020 brought with it an exhilarating wave of validation. Something that had merely been a far-fetched dream scribbled on a piece of paper had morphed into a reality, securing the Series A funding for NeuralNest. My heart pounded with mixed feelings of elation, relief, and an indescribable sense of accomplishment. Looking at that bank transfer notification, our dream suddenly seemed tangible. It wasn't just about securing the funds for our startup, but served as a testament to our relentless pursuit, a savage battle against the odds, and the unwavering faith in our vision. With our footsteps synchronized with the pulsating rhythm of Seoul's startup ecosystem, the distinct feeling of a crucial milestone being reached was tattooed onto our triumphant hearts. It was more than just monetary gain. It was a ticket to scale, a stepping stone to compete with global AI titans, a launchpad for our nascent ventures. The news, followed by warm congratulations from friends, family, and even strangers, led to a surreal feeling, where every whispered, "Well done," felt like a pat on my back from the universe. It was a validation. We were on the right path, not just dreamers but now doers too. However, this isn't your typical celebratory tale, filled with snapshots of congratulatory toasts and cheers echoing inside swanky bistros. Instead, it was the calm yet palpable enthusiasm vibrating through our team meetings, the electric energy riding the Seoul Metro, hopping from one potential business partnership to a series of client meetings. Instead of a lavish party, we toasted to our dreams, huddled together inside the cubicle-sized office space, with warm soju in our cups and the cold winter wind knocking against the windows, fighting in vain to diminish our warmth. Each subsequent business pitch, each insurmountable challenge, each sleepless night, now held a distinctive flavor of responsibility, mixed generously with the heady pride of shaping our destiny, one coding night at a time. Our decisions were no longer contained within the four walls of a university lab or a cozy cafeteria. They held the power to sculpt the future of AI, to influence industries, to trigger a cascading effect on real people, on real economies. The recognition of this power, the humility it brought along, was a whirlwind, a slow dawning reality that left us both overwhelmed and electrified. Those mundane moments of making fresh brews of coffee for late-night brainstorming sessions, of huddling together to chalk out a formidable go-to-market strategy, of gazing into the neon skyline of Seoul from our office, whispering silent prayers for our ambitions, were the underlying building blocks of this grand vision. The hunger in our bellies wasn't just for capital growth, it was the craving for immortality, to be etched into the annals of AI history as pioneers of accessible AI technology. With the secured funding, we were ready to write this story ourselves. My 29th birthday, strangely enough, did not come with the usual excitement and hoopla, but was instead shrouded in an ambience of enlightened solitude. There I was, standing on a ledge that overlooked Seoul, lost in thoughts of the whirlwind breakthrough we had just experienced. The venture we dared to dream had materialized, and with the gentle glimmer of the evening sun, I found myself a year older and infinitely wiser. Against the rather soothing hum of a celebration unfolding, I found the company of my closest friends and my ambitious NeuralNest team to be more comforting than ever. I realized, amidst the flicker of birthday candles and the laughter dancing in the air, that these people weren't just friends, they were my support system. They were the ones who saw me through the lows, climbed the highs with me, and under the twinkling city skyline, their presence felt as important as any celebratory milestones. Each shared joke, each discussion about the potential of our AI dream. It was not merely banter, but the cementing of bonds fostered through the shared dreams of a daring enterprise. Our conversations swerved between recalling memories of the humbling beginning to predictions of the splendid future lying ahead. Memories of the late-night problem-solving sessions to the triumphant times when our codes sang in harmony. I could feel the collective optimism in the room. It felt like a warm hug amidst the crisp evening breeze. In the flurry of heartfelt congratulations, I had a quiet moment with the city below, its blinking city lights mimicking the stars above. The Seoul skyline had seen many such dreams being woven under its gaze, dreams that turned into towering successes. Now, our ambitious endeavor, NeuralNest, was taking its flight amidst this city of dreams. A rush of exhilaration coursed through my veins as I blew out the candles, and I could feel the reassuring smile of a city ready to coddle us if we fell and celebrate us when we flew. The 2nd of May marked a momentous occasion for NeuralNest as we announced the arrival of our first product. For the team and me, this was more than a professional milestone. It was the capturing of our hopes and dreams in tangible form, our relentless efforts culminating in an innovation designed to transform lives. As our creation was unveiled to the world, a sense of surrealism washed over me, a mingling of realized ambitions and unrestrained possibilities. The air seemed charged with our shared enthusiasm, the nervous anticipation palpable. The enclosed room strangely mirrored the stuttering heartbeats, anticipation hovering like a phantom and exhilaration prickling the air. As I stepped towards the auditorium stage, my mind traced the journey that had led me to this very moment. The countless coding marathons spent judiciously crafting the product, fueled by caffeine and a zealous determination to disrupt the status quo with our exceptionally creative tech. The receded familial bonds, relationships strained and lost under the colossal weight of my tech entrepreneur dreams. And yet, in that moment, each tribulation felt worth the sacrifice. Holding high our product for the audience to behold, I then realized however important it was. Each multifaceted component echoed our singular dream, reflecting the faces of everyone who had contributed to its crafting, literally and metaphorically. The immense pride I felt, standing there, sharing our accomplishment with the world, was raw and beautiful. More than just a launch, it was our collective dream turning into a tangible reality. It was technology, but it was also an embodiment of our shared passion, a testament to our shared determination, a piece of us. Despite the bustling crowd ahead of me, I felt a profound tranquility in that moment. The product's launch signaled the end of one journey and the birth of another, a journey of bringing game-changing AI technology into homes, offices, and everyday lives. I remember looking over at the dedicated compatriots of NeuralNest, at their beaming, exhausted faces, and thinking about the incredible marathon we had run to witness this day. All the sleepless nights, the relentless troubleshooting, the caffeine-induced coding sessions, the disagreements fueled by passion, and the triumphant cheers, all of them had led us to this singular moment. All our toil was embedded into the product that now held the gaze of hundreds in the auditorium. As the applause thundered around me, I could not help but be profoundly moved by the journey we had embarked on. I realized then that this was not simply a product launch. It was the unveiling of our dream, crafted with intellect, integrity, and an unshakable belief in what we aim to achieve. In the metallic glint of our AI solution, I saw not only the hard work and dedication of our resilient team, but also the endless possibilities of the exciting journey ahead. In the midst of some breakthroughs in my professional life, my personal life took a tumble. Lisa and I, who had begun our romantic journey against the dazzle of New York, decided to part ways. My hours spent lost in the labyrinth of codes and business jargon had inadvertently created a gulf between us. I was dedicated to my work for NeuralNest, often working late into the night, and she was piloting her own startup, embarking on her own trials and victories. There was not enough time or emotional bandwidth to invest in our relationship, as our focus lay scattered over countless business meetings and coding templates. As a tech entrepreneur, time became an elusive entity. Days blurred into nights as we together found ourselves drowning in the startup whirlpool. Minutes stolen between meetings became our shared moments, survival of a relationship in the hyperfast lane of startups. Our connection was strained, stretched thin like an overwound spring, threatening to snap. And snap it did, leading us to part ways. From a casual conversation clip-clopping on cobblestone streets of the Big Apple to being startup partners in crime, we had shared a journey and grown together. We had celebrated successes, somberly discussed failures, and shared many cups of coffee as we ventured into the startup world. Together we climbed the steep path, stumbling, struggling, yet never backing down. Our tenacity at work brought us together, but also pulled us apart. Breakups are painful, their echoes extending beyond us and spilling over into our shared circles. News of our disentanglement curtained a somber sentiment on our otherwise electrifying venture. Even amidst the flickering screens and hushed conversations, I felt a pang of loneliness sweeping over me like a winter morning, cold and piercing. The journey of life is unpredictable, wrought with hills and valleys. I was a man balancing his desire to bring about a tech revolution while simultaneously holding onto strands of personal happiness. Yet, amongst the product launches and funding rounds, I realized that not all codes could be decoded and not all systems are flawless. With the departure of Lisa from my life, I lost a partner, a confidant, a friend. Yet I remained hopeful, optimistic in the power of perseverance and firm belief in my entrepreneurial dreams. I took these lessons with me to NeuralNest, committed to turning tides in the world of AI, backed by an indomitable spirit. Yet every time I code, carve our product a little deeper, Lisa's absence rings akin to a soft melody, an echo marked by surging startup dreams and drowned personal desires.